Hello, and welcome to another Destiny 2 video. This build is able to solo Grandmaster Vanguard alerts, the stuff that used to be called Grandmaster Nightfalls. I don't just mean the Grandmaster difficulty that's easy peasy, it's the super hard weekly strike. And I just soloed it with this build. Footage of that is after the build guide if you want to skip ahead. But this build is using the new Hunter aspect, Crackshot, and the new artifact system with solar fulmination to create an endless loop of chain ignitions that are ridiculously big. So first off, subclass. Using Blade Barrage because quick runs off super. The only time I actually use this is if the boss, if a scorn dropped one of the immunity totems, their void totems, and this could blow through it. The ignitions can also break them, but shooting with a primary is not the best. Then Gambler's Dodge for getting your melee back. Knife Trick for the melee, so that Knife Trick and Crackshot together can cause ignition. Also a Burning Ambition on my Utide Apex. You can also use a Mida mini tool with Burning Ambition, any Burning Ambition. That will work with Knife Trick to cause ignition, and Burning Ambition with Crackshot will cause ignition. Then a Healing Grenade with Ember of Empyrean, the old combo of give me 15 seconds of restoration and let me keep it going. But there has been a change to On Your Mark. Even though it still says that final blows at 10 stacks curing you, actually it grants you restoration. Now I don't know if this is a glitch, or if this only happens when you have both of these together, but they basically turned any kill into a restoration timer reset. Whenever you get restoration of any timer amount, while you already have restoration, it goes up to your previously max amount. So if you'd worked with Ember of Empyrean up to 12 seconds of restoration, if you get any instance of restoration at the time, it will reset to 12. So any kill will reset your restoration to its current max. If it gets to 0, it will reset to, like, the maximum you have will reset. Then combine that with Ember of Empyrean, and the rapid ignition kills will easily shoot you up to 15 seconds, which is the max. Then Ember of Singeing for more dodges, because that's how we're using Crackshot. It uses your dodge. Then the Ember of Empyrean, like I said, to maintain restoration, but we will also have Radiant from Orbs of Power. Ember of Ashes for ignition chaining. With Solar Fulmination and Ember of Char, you can cause Ember of Ashes... Well, Ember of Ashes, Ember of Char, and Solar Fulmination can cause ignitions to set the initial target into another ignition immediately after, which normally is impossible. Only Warlocks can loop ignitions with Hellion. So, yeah, it's not infinite. It will eventually run out, but it's a long time and it's big staggered at chains. Ember of Eruption for bigger ignitions. Yes, you could take something else if you absolutely wanted to, like if you wanted to go for Deadshot. For Golden Gun. Yeah, this. Then I would take Ember of Combustion, but the Ember of Eruption plus Solar Fulmination makes absolutely massive ignitions. Basically the whole, I don't care how big the room is, I cast Fireball meme. Then stats. Class 200 if possible. I cannot get that, but it's good enough. Grenade 100 and melee 100 ideally. I have a melee font to push the distance to get it over 100. You don't need the actual damage of it, you just need good uptime for Scorch. That said, at 100 you can dodge away from enemies and still get your melee back. 90 you might be able to, let me check that real quick. Okay, it's close, it's a few seconds out. So 100 would be the full dodge. Would be the full refund. Then weapons, I have Just pick whichever damage over time GL you like, but you want to have Burning Ambition, so you need a solar weapon here with Burning Ambition. Sadly, Motif, the solar Iridian frame GL, does not have Burning Ambition, which I think Bungie are cowards for not putting it on that, because that would have been so cool. I use Lost Signal. You could use whatever the other one is. Strand 1, Festival Flight. With the exotic we're using, you will be able to dodge to reload all of your weapons, so this not having auto-loading isn't as bad. But I just like Lost Signal for the ease of use. Now, Speed Loader Slacks. Let me explain why I'm using 2 damage over time weapons. Speed Loader Slacks. Dealing sustained damage grants class ability energy. This here is just reload and handling buffs on dodge. This is what we need. Turns Speed Loader Slacks into an on-hit dodge spam exotic. And it's based off of number of hits, not the amount of damage dealt. So Lost Signal, which hits a lot, I think like 11 times, from one burst, that will contribute massively towards this, and then Anarchy does as well. Then having a 900 RPM submachine gun, like Guillotine Apex or Mida Mini Tool, will also help. I have Quick Access Sling on my Lost Signal, and Backup Mag on my Guillotine Apex. Now, barriers are freaking awful in Grandmaster Vanguard alerts, or Grandmaster Nightfall. I'm gonna call them Grandmaster Nightfalls, because that's what I'm used to them being called. Barriers can no longer be popped by Radiant, which is one of the stupidest decisions Bungie has made. I hate it a lot, because now you have to use adaptive frame weapons, for the most part, to puncture barriers. And adaptive frames usually suck. On ultimate difficulty, it's fine. On the normal Grandmaster difficulty, it's fine. It sucks that you have to equip it, but a primary weapon can do it. On Grandmaster Vanguard alerts, Grandmaster Nightfalls, you need a dedicated heavy weapon. You can use Arbalist, but the charge time means the time you spend charging can cause them to fully heal. So I just use Hammerhead. I stack the ignitions, shove Lost Signal at them, and then just use Hammerhead. So last week for Warden of Nothing, this is what got me through the GM. It sucks. That's how you have to play the game. But Bungie has decided for their final update to do a stupid thing, so it's probably not going to be reversed. Then for the artifact, Elemental Siphon, because that gives grenade energy, so and nothing else really works except for energy diffusion substrate, which is damage resistant, so I will always take that. Solar Fulmination, which is with Ember of Char, making your ignitions trigger themselves again on the same target, and making the AoE bigger. The increased damage is bugged and does not work. It's 676 at normal difficulty, regardless of whether or not you have this equipped. Counter Energy. This helps with ability uptime. If you just had to pop a grenade to heal, then this will help you get it back faster. If you just dodged and to stun a champ, this will help you get it back faster. So, yeah. Radiant Orbs, this is how we're getting Radiant. The Prismatic Transfer, because there is nothing other than Shield Crash in the last row that actually helps, and Solar Fulmination is too important to let go. So, Shield Crash will help you get your healing grenade back faster, because we'll have Radiant all the time from Radiant Orbs and Attrition Orbs on my Guitar Apex. The Prismatic Transfer is just if you have someone else, a different fire team, it just helps each other out. As for perks, again, Burning Ambition, but Attrition Orbs is great. For me, it helps maintain the melee font. Then helmet perks, you can use a super font if you want. Super's not that great, to be honest. I'm not gonna get over 100 supers, so honestly I get more out of Dynamo because I'm dodging near enemies all the time. Harmonic Siphon because you're tied to Apex. Special Ammo Finder, because this is basically an engine for generating class synergy, so having more lost signal shots is very important. Then, arm mods. The only two of these type of mods where use one ability refunds another, energy to another. The only two that actually work are the ones that proc on melee damage, because your healing grenade's not doing squat in terms of damage. So Knife Trick will proc Impact Induction and Focusing Strike, so it will give you grenade energy and class energy. It does have a cooldown, but I think it's like 5 seconds? I know a snare bomb on Night Stalker can proc it multiple times. And the melee font just to help me get the last 10 there. Then on chest, I always go Concussive Dampener, whatever damage type is getting bonus damage against you, and then which will usually be the most common damage type in the mission, and then whichever damage type is second most common. And so because it was facing off against Scorn, the Void Snipers are pain and Void damage was the real issue with the snipers, and with the bonus damage taken, and then Arc from the Abominations is rough. Solar is not that big a video from them. On my legs, because I have attritional whips, I went with Orbs of Restoration, Absolution, and Insulation. Orbs of Restoration, when you dodge, I have Powerful Attraction on, it'll pick up nearby orbs, so your dodge when triggering Powerful Attraction will always be the one with the lowest amount of energy, so Orbs of Restoration will apply to your dodge. Now that means all three of these will be giving energy to your dodge, and Absolution will give a little bit to all of them. And then lastly, Powerful Attraction to pick up orbs, Time Dilation to give more duration to the melee font. If you really want to go class font here, but Bomber here to get grenade energy back quicker. As for set bonuses, I do not have any of the fancy sets yet. Respectively though, 4-piece Pits of Heresy set bonus, where you have Radiant Restoration or Cure, which is going to happen all the time. Your melee hits release a burst that scorch the target. I don't know if that has an internal cooldown, but Knife Trick hits 3 times, so that will cause, theoretically, 3 explosions, which could make Knife Trick trigger ignitions on its own depending on the scorch values. Alternatively, the Shots at Throne dungeon will give you sustained damage, grants damage resistance, and the 4-piece from the 4-piece bonus, and also you will get improved ability regen from having maximum stacks. Because this is very sustained damage focused, that really synergizes well with the whole kit. As for my cosmetics, this is what I'm using. It's not the best. I just slap something together. Anyway, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And please comment down below. I'm going to show you a quick example of what running this actually looks like. Okay, as you can see, it's very spammy. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the GM solo. Thank you so much for watching.
Finch, picking up some dense darkness readings nearby. I'll bet the Scorn are congregating in that old worm breeding ground again.
Oh, yeah, you might be right. Mind taking care of it?
Not at all. Heading in now. Unicorn has been dealt with for the moment.
Never cease to amaze, you know? Thanks for the hard work.